Greetings from YouTubeville. Once again, Danny Savage, Draft Guru, dropping 15 more prospects for April's 2025 NFL Draft. With this 15, we are going to be at 630 prospects since May. That's right. When all these guys now that it's ironic, the Shrine Bowl's going on, the Senior Bowl will be coming up, and you're going to see people just throw up like a 3-second video and try to critique it. And that's the only time they've ever seen this player in their life. And they're going to give their 2 cents on them. Yet some of these kids, you got 5-6 years of film. So just be on the lookout. This is like, for people, all these draft channels that pop up, or not so much the draft channels, everyone that has channels just now to all of a sudden become draft experts. Yet if you ask these people in September, October about somebody, they're going to be like, I haven't even started yet. But now all of a sudden, I'm trying to say, because they suck the right ass, they think they're special. You're not, bro. Snake oil salesman. Shame on you. First kid, Nick Malone, offensive lineman, West Virginia. 6'5", 300 pounds. Numerous starts at right tackle plus guard. I think this kid is really getting overlooked. Last year, you had Zach Frazier getting all the love, and 2 years ago, you had Zach Frazier getting all the love, and this past season, you had basically Wyatt Mullins, the West Virginia's left tackle, who's allowed 0 sacks in the last 3 years, getting all the love. But this kid, he has 49 starts to his credit at right tackle and guard. So he's very flexible, and he's being overlooked. Listen, man, am I saying this kid is going to be a day one, round one? No. Am I saying he's going to be a round 7? No. He will get invited to a camp. Next kid, offensive lineman 2. Offensive tackle, Spencer Fanu, Utah. He's one of those island guys, bro. 6'6", 310. He has multiple starts at right tackle plus left tackle. He is a road grader. Me personally, I think he will get exposed on an island. So in my opinion, he will get exposed on an island at left tackle. So in my opinion, you start him off at right tackle. If that don't work out, you slide him inside to right guard, and at worst, you have a big, strong, giant mauler in a phone booth. And there's nothing wrong with that, people, because people have made their livings in the NFL doing exactly that. It's just like stupid. Like the Saints this past season, they drafted Talisi Fulaga this past draft out of Oregon State, who was a right tackle in college. And it's ironic. I looked at him and I said, this kid's a right guard. Then like a couple months later, Dane Brugler said the exact same thing, ironically. Then the Saints, this is why I said, it depends where you go. Because a lot of times these organizations can ruin you. And the Saints were like, okay, we're going to make you a left tackle. Didn't work out that great. This kid, he was a right side player, and he's a guard. He was a guard, in my opinion, from day one. So it just shows you sometimes it depends where you go, and the organization can ruin you. It is what it is. But these are all the kids. It's like coaching and scouting in the NFL is like the mafia. Once you're in, you're in. And it doesn't matter how much of a fuck up you are, they'll just go from another team. Because if your daddy played in the NFL or if your daddy coached in the NFL, it doesn't matter. That's your pipeline, and someone's going to owe you a favor, and you're going to have a job. Next kid is Aaron Smith, South Carolina State, 6'2", 230, 60 tackles, 1 sack. This kid is flying up the boards, and I told you I had to do more information on this kid. But in my eyes, 60 tackles, 1 sack. People are looking at he's going to run a blazing 40, and he's going to fly up the boards simply for traits, simply for a coach is going to see him. And it's just like college, man, where a college, you can get a kid who's in high school, you get a kid who's 5'10, 250, and you can put an offensive lineman in front of him that's 6'4, 300, and that small D tackle will whip him. College won't even look at him. They're going to say, no, we'll take the big kid with no heart and no balls because we'll make him a player. Same thing happens in the NFL. But it all depends what you are. Are you a floor guy? Or are you a ceiling guy? Do you want to take a chance on somebody and hope they come up here? Or do you want to take a proven football player? Me, myself, I draft football players. I do not like workout warriors because at what point is it going to hit? If you have, you've skated on life just on your athletic abilities, but yet you haven't put up the production, at what point is it all going to come together? Oh, let me guess. When the NFL gives you a giant bag, then you're out 5 nights out of the week. A lot of times. More times than not, it doesn't happen. Next kid, Dean Clark, safety, Fresno. This kid has played a lot of football, man. He's a 6'1", 210. He played it's because of the one word I can't say, the C word. He has 6 years of football in college under his belt, but he's a missile. 60 tackles, 1 sack. He's going to have to make his way onto an NFL roster with either special teams or he's also an overaged player, but he's also that, I know, listen, let's be honest, the NFL barely hits in camp. And a lot of times that holds young kids back. But if this kid just starts laying people out, he can stick on a team. Like I said, nice size, but he did play 6 years of ball. He's overaged. But he's a heat-seeking missile, and he does not. There's a lot of safeties in the NFL that avoid contact. I've even seen a lot of linebackers avoid contact. He's not that person you have to worry about. He's going to lay you out. Next kid is Marcus Ware. Where's Brett Ware, I tell you? He lives on Ditmar Boulevard. If you know where that is, if you know where that came from, put it in the comments. It's kid Marcus Ware. 6'4", 300 pounds, Montana State. 3-year starter. He's played both right tackle and right guard. He's probably at the Shrine Bowl right now. I don't see this kid getting drafted. I don't. But I see him probably being like a priority free agent. Or you never know, man. Every season, we always get these kids from the out west, who've played at smaller colleges, and they cut their jerseys and they got their stomachs hanging out. And then everybody goes crazy about what they're doing at these, Shrine Bowl, Senior Bowl on one-on-one drills, where some drills favor the defensive lineman over the offensive lineman, or vice versa. And everyone goes crazy over these kids, but more times than not, they go to the NFL and it just doesn't translate. But that's me being me telling you like it is. Joe Evans, defensive tackle, University of Texas, San Antonio, 6'3", 340, just a big-ass one tech in the middle. Don't expect much out of this kid from the past. Don't expect 5 to 10 sacks out of this kid. It's not going to happen. But 6'3", 340 is a nice one tech, zero tech to have. That's going to stop the run. And that is fine because there's a lot of teams in the NFL Dallas, that have zero tackles, zero defensive tackles on their team. Next kid is a kid with crazy, crazy, crazy. I have one, two, three. I got 4 stars around his name. This kid has crazy stats, man. Crazy. Raekwon Ramsey. Where do you hear this college? Missouri Baptist. 6'1", 270. 33 sacks in his career. Now, that's not even the most impressive part. Total, some people call this kid a linebacker. He's not. He's an edge. He's going to play with his hands in the dirt. So, like I said, 33 sacks in his career, and that's not the most impressive part. The most impressive part is he had 172 total tackles. That's not even the most impressive part. The most impressive part to me is he had and I said this, and I've been saying this all along. All tackles are not created equal. This kid had 62 tackles for losses. That is ridiculous. And for me to have to come up to watch film on this kid was like nearly impossible. But I found one. I found one game on this kid. He also had 5 forced fumbles. But this kid's stats are ridiculous. I think he will get drafted 100%. I think he's either going to get drafted or someone's going to throw $200,000 at him as a priority undrafted free agent. But his stats are just ridiculous, and the 62 tackles for losses. Very rarely am I at a loss for words. This kid's production is crazy. Raekwon Ramsey. Remember that name. At some point, you're going to hear it. Next kid is Deontay Campbell, tight end, Missouri Southern. Decent size, 6'5", 245. 2024, he was a little bit banged up. He had a better year, 2023, 500 yards and 6 TDs. Listen, there's a million tight ends built like this kid. A million. In every single division of football. Is he athletic? Yes. Is he a road grader as a run blocker? No. Is he athletic enough to go out and catch you the ball? Yes. The difference between college tight ends and NFL tight ends, you have to be able to block. You just can't go out and catch passes. You have to bring something to the run blocking department. If you don't, you're not going to have a job in the NFL. You're going to be working at Lowe's. You're going to be bouncing at a titty bar, which is not the worst job in the world, but that's not something you go 5 years of college for. But since I don't think we've seen his full potential in 2024, he can surprise people. It's a name to look out for. Next kid is a kid, Austin Gentile, center/guard, Harvard, 6'1", 300 pounds. Now listen, this kid's a little up in the air. Bo, this kid has started 30 games, state champ wrestler in high school. I don't know, he's a portal question. I don't know if he's jumping in the portal to get a bag or he's looking to get in the NFL. Now, Harvard, he's smart. Wrestler, with leverage. I love when I see football and I see / wrestler next to it because any plays center. To be a center, you have to be able to think on the fly. You have to be smart. You have to be a multitasker. You have to be able to call out the pass and run schemes, especially when the quarterback audibles. Not everyone can play center. You can be a little bit of a below average athlete, but you got to have it up here and you got to think on the fly quick. But he's someone that I'm not going to be shocked if he declares, or I still wouldn't be shocked if he jumps in a portal and someone offers him a bag. But he has everything you want in a center. Harvard, right? Jesus. Next kid, excuse me, Michael Moore, Edge, UAB, 6'5", 250. He has, in 2023, he had 63 tackles. In 2024, he had 90 tackles. This kid, like, some people call him an edge. Some people call him a linebacker. I think he's somewhere stuck in the middle. Does his stats jump off at me? No. Does his play jump off at you? No, it doesn't. There's that word again, traits. He'll get invited to a camp. I don't know if he's going to make a team or not. I don't think so, but you'd be shocked about how many kids just skate by a college because they're getting that stipend or NIL. And then once that's over and it's like, okay, you got to produce or you're going to be sleeping on your mother's couch, that fire gets lit under their ass. And they made a 53-man roster. Next is a kid, David Walker, Central Arkansas. 32 career sacks, 6'2", 260. Central Arkansas. These colleges, bro, it's getting tougher and tougher and tougher, man. I'm telling you, but I got to get to my goal of 800. This kid is 6'2", 260. He's going to have to make a decision. He's like that tweener. Too big enough. He's too big for linebacker. And to me, he's not big enough for edge. At that size, he's more likely going to get washed out versus the run, especially in the NFL where you're playing up against, 6'7", 340-pound offensive tackles. So he needs to get bigger. And that's not a big deal, You're a couple Thanksgiving dinners away from getting bigger. But yet, we haven't had any. Well, we had one All-Star game over the past weekend. It was like a Division II, Division III All-Star game. But this kid is flying up the boards. Next is a kid, Riley Tomasa, Tolmsa, Ball State. I noticed him this past season. I did a video. Oh, Jesus, what's this kid's name? I did a video on a running back / wide receiver from Ball State. Listen, I noticed when Ball State played Miami, man, they ran into a buzzsaw. They lost like 60-0, but kid has a try-hard motor. He actually was a Division II player, transferred up to Ball State. So he went up in competition. He's 6'3", 270, and he still produced 60 tackles and 60 sacks on a year. The kid has heart. He's a try-hard player. And it's amazing. Sometimes your team can lose 60-0, and you still get, I'm trying to say, somebody still catches your eye because it's in the fourth quarter and you're getting blown out, but yet you're still playing the hardest you can. Next kid is an offensive tackle, Donald Wilson, Tennessee Tech, 6'5", 310, left tackle. He started 22, 23, and 24. 0 sacks, people. Tennessee Tech. So I'm not saying he played up against, the Notre Dames, the Penn States, the Ohio States of the world. That's why I tell kids sometimes it's better off. Good afternoon. My second master's degree is from Tennessee Tech. I thought you went to Penn State too. You were telling me. I thought I'm pretty sure you told me you went to Penn State. I did a video on a kid I brought Happy Valley. How many masters you got? I, my my first master's. Okay, it's from Penn State. Okay, that's what I thought so. What'd you like better, Penn State, or would you like better, Pennsylvania or Tennessee? Which one do you like better? Well, I'm sure they're both beautiful. I've been to Pennsylvania a million times. Tennessee, can't say I have. But this kid, he will get an invite. I like Tennessee. I grew up there. Okay, all right, that makes sense. I heard it's gotten really, really crowded over the last like 5 years. That's what I've read, and it seems like a lot of people have moved there for one reason or another. And the prices of the houses like doubled, but they're dropping down. Next kid, CJ Presley, Prairie View A&M. He's a legit 5 tech. I can see the Pittsburgh Steelers or the Baltimore Ravens. I'll bet $1 they invite him to their camp. He's 6'5", 260. He's played a lot of ball. His stats are not gonna jump out at you, but when you're a 5 tech, your main job is to just in a 3-4 period, your 5, your zeros, you just got to keep the O linemen off the linebackers. So your stats are not going to pop out at you, but when your linebackers are getting all the tackles and they don't have to navigate through all the, 6'4", 350-pound linemen on top of them, you're doing your job. He's a straight 5 tech to me. He's from Prairie View A&M. Last kid we're going to throw out for today. Listen, I'm just putting him out there because I'm a nice guy, but he's going to get like he went to LSU. He was a defensive tackle for LSU. Gio Paz, his name is. He's 6'3", 305. That's about average size for like a 3 tech in the NFL. During the 2024 season, he had 20 tackles and 1 sack. If you look at his entire career, I don't want to shit on a kid. I really don't, man. But someone, if he wants to play in the NFL, someone's going to have to light a fire underneath his ass. If not, he's going to be selling cars, or you have the XFL, USFL, Canadian League. I don't know how much football is important to him because it doesn't show that much on his tape. Like I said, a lot of it, he doesn't jump out at you. He doesn't. I'm sorry. Yet I don't want to take it. Like I said, I don't want to take a shit on a kid. I don't. So, does he have the ability? Yes. Has he put everything together? No. But like I said earlier, you'd be surprised how many kids they skate through college. All they do is getting that money, and that's all they care about. And then once they're in the NFL, and it's either you make the team or you're going to be homeless. You make the team or you're going to be living on your mother's couch. You see engines come on that no one's ever else seen before. So that's 15 prospects. Today we are at 600, and my bachelor's degree was from Virginia Tech. Wow. Damn, you're smart, man. I went to college for like only one semester. I went to junior college. That's when I was working, and I went to JUCO for 1 year. They didn't have a football team, but I was deciding if I wanted to play. But to be honest with you, it really wasn't on my mind because I'd be waking up at 4 a.m. to go to the gym, go to work from 8 to 4, run home, take a shower, and then be in college to 10 o'clock at night, run home. There wasn't enough hours in the day for what I was doing. But honestly, football wasn't even on my mind. I think I went to college like 2 semesters, but football wasn't on my mind at that time. It was just surviving, to be honest with you. It is what it is. No big deal. I have no regrets. So we are at 630 since May, on our way to 800. Like I said, this week you'll be seeing a lot of videos posted from the East West Shrine. You'll see a lot of videos being posted from the Senior Bowl. Watch out for your snake salesman, because I've put out 95 to 98% of every one of these kids since May. I got all my notebooks full of people, and I've got all my videos since May. So be careful for people just critiquing, you know, drills at these games, because some of these drills favor the offensive lineman, some of these drills favor the defensive lineman. So these all-star games are just all things that are part of the equation. In my opinion, your tape comes first. Then we can throw. Then I'm going to look at your size and your weight. Then we can add the all-star games, the pre-practicing versus other teams. But you have to realize, the national championship ended like a week ago, 2 weeks ago. Some of these kids have been preparing for these all-star games for the last 2 months. So don't you think the kids that have prepared for these all-star games, just because they played on teams that didn't go to bowls or whatever, don't you think they're going to have an advantage? Number one, their bodies are healed from injury. Number two, they've been preparing for these all-star games for the last 2 months, versus kids that have played football in the national championship playoffs just now. They're not 100%. So you have to also have that in the back of your mind for the All-Star games. At least I do. Tomorrow I will be dropping 32 team NFL mock draft. It should be 6.0, I believe, because I've done 5 already. And I dropped a Dallas Cowboy draft, a mock draft earlier, 67.0. So I'll be I'll have a couple more mock drafts this week. And I just want to start knocking people out of the park. And then I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got a lot more people to go through. But this is a draft channel, 12 months out of the year, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Last night at midnight, I was dropping some players, because we all know when we're rocking with the GWO, it's for life. Also, you got to sub and subscribe to the Frisco Report. He either comes out with a show, Joe Rod comes out, Joe and Mike. But the Frisco Report, Joe puts out his show either Wednesday nights or Thursday nights. You got Cowboys Corner. He comes out talking crazy on Saturday nights. Subscribe, 9:30 Central. You got Fifth Quarter Cowboys. He usually puts out his shows Monday nights and then Friday nights. Freaky Fridays. Sub and subscribe to all these channels. Got Cowboys Champ, OG like myself, spitting out facts. We got Cowboys Fiend, OG. Sub and subscribe to all these channels. Also got 1980s Cowboy. He played college football. He has different, and he's an OG. He's going to have a little different perspective than some of these, young kids that have channels. We got Eshawn, Hollywood's newest up-and-coming producer at Paladonian Films, Dot Production. Like I said, we're not going to lie to you. We're not going to sugarcoat shit. We're going to tell you like it is. Be careful of the snake oil salesman, especially around draft time. Because if you were to call these, hold on a second. I have something to drink. You have to be careful now when you see all these so-called draft experts pop up and all they're doing is critiquing like drills, or they'll pick one game. Yet on a lot of these kids, there's 5 years of tape, 6 years of tape. And they act like they're these big draft guys. But just do me a favor, man. I started putting my last year's rankings are already out there, but I started putting out all my plays for 2020 for 2025 draft. Excuse me. I started in May. But if you for next year, call when you do the guys with the call up channels, ask them a draft question in September. Ask them a draft question in October. They're like, oh, I haven't even started yet. So let me get this straight, man. You never heard of these people at all come September, October, because we all know you don't watch college football. That's very evident. But now, come February, March, now you're a draft expert, bro. Not in my world, my friend. Not in my world. Where is the invite? Well, I was drunk. Fiend, Cowboys Fiend jumped in the chat. I was just going down. I was just throwing out 15 draft prospects for the April 2025 draft. Earlier, I dropped the mock draft 67.0. I'm sure I'll be going on later on tonight. So we'll do either my channel you want to go on or fifth quarter jumps on. We'll all jump on there. Listen, man, I'll talk draft 24/7, 365. Honestly, with Dallas having all these new coaches, I've even been doing some drafts where Dallas trades back because honestly, I do not know what to expect now with a complete new coaching staff. Also, I've been doing some trade back mocks, but I haven't produced any of them yet. That's another thing, man. Watch out for all these guys that do mock drafts where they trade back. I have not published one of them out of my 67 already because you can make when you trade back, oh, Captain trade back, you can make you can manipulate the machine to make every single mock draft look great by trading back, but that's not realistic come draft day. But also now we got all these new coaches in Dallas. I believe the Travis Frederick draft, I could be wrong, but I believe we traded back twice in that draft. I could be mistaken. Honestly, I would not even be shocked if you see Dallas trade back twice. I have a feeling they're going to trade back at least once, in my opinion, because they have to recoup a third because they have no fourth. I know it's OG. I know it's you, bro. I always tell everybody, bro, sub and subscribe to your channel, man. I tell every time I do a video, I shout out the Frisco Report, Cowboys Corner, Fifth Quarter Cowboys, Cowboy Champs, Cowboys Fiend, 1980, Eshan. I shout out everyone's channel. I'm a nobody, just trying to get by with my little draft channel. And I talk draft. So we all know we're at 630. 630 players, 6 May. We all know when you're rocking with the GWO, it's for life. Tomorrow, I'm going to have probably 5 to 10 more prospects. Most likely, probably 10. I just want to just knock out this 800 so I can just start with my rankings. But it's ironic, though. because I'll show you my rankings from May, and you can see my rankings now. And amazing, they're so similar. What do I know? Just shows you a little bit I can spot talent, and a little bit shows there's a method to my madness. Over and out.